I want to talk to you about Incogni versus DeleteMe versus Mozilla Monitor Plus. Of course, I'm talking to you about data removal services, okay? So here are the removal services I want you to pay attention to. Let me first walk you through what Incogni can do for you this year. When you think about Incogni, I want you to think about a tool that works in countries outside the US. So that's really good. So if you have, let's say, business operations or you have folks who are overseas, Incogni can work with you, not a problem. You have a detailed dashboard that provides meaningful insights within Incogni, and also you do have an affordable price point. So overall, you have a pretty solid tool. Okay, now when you think about Incogni, basically you have a service that only removes data from 180 sites, whereas there are other players that really go even further. Like Apteri, for instance, will remove your data from hundreds of sites. There is no free plan within Incogni, and you also have limited resources available within the tool. So bottom line is, if you are looking, let's say this year, for a personal data removal tool that does what it says it's going to do, Incogni might be right for you. Now, just be prepared to wait while it does its thing, okay? The internet is a pretty amazing place, and all of the collected knowledge of humankind is actually available here. But also, unfortunately, you have things like identity theft, you have data breaches, you have folks actually selling your data on the dark web. So you have a lot of bad things happening. So when it comes to Incogni, you really have to understand that they do have a process in place to really make sure that they are tracking your data on 180 sites and actually unlocking the whole removal process. Now, don't be surprised if for any reason they basically Incogni is asking a third-party website to remove your data, and you find your data back on their sites. It's just because of the process, because those websites, they actually make money from your sites. From your name, from your data, unfortunately. And there is right now the law is not really strict enough to really prevent them from doing so. So when you think about Incogni, basically you have pricing tiers that are around like a $12, like $6 to $12 a month. So, but if you go for a monthly, if you go for an annual billing, you are paying somewhere from a $6 to $8 a month. So that's pretty good if you want to go with Incogni. If you think that's the service for you, then you want to really maybe choose an annual billing process, okay? And setting up at Incogni is pretty straightforward. They'll ask you, you go to the website, they'll ask you for basic information like your full name, your address, your city, your state, your zip code, and country. And from there, they'll take care of the whole process. So my overall impressions of Incogni is that basically Incogni does a great job of what it says it will do. In other words, it will remove your data real fast, okay? It gets to work right away and appears to be very effective in a short amount of time. Take their removal statistics with a grain of salt though, because basically you can't really be sure that they are indeed actually tracking your data on all the sites they say they are working on. But at the end of the day, the Incogni system is able to remove and suppress an impressive number of files. It's one of those things where you have to really ask yourself how comprehensive you want the data removal service to be, okay? And but Incogni does a great job at really working fast for you. The only problem is they do not have like a reporting system where they'll tell you, let's say maybe every day or every week or every month what they're working on and the results. You have to really always log into your dashboard to see that data. They don't send you an email, they don't send you a text message, whereas other rivals, like there are rivals doing that. So you don't have to always sign up. Not sign up. No, you don't have always to sign in. Okay, but yeah, this is one of the things that Incogni has to improve on, and improve also. Incogni does not delete social media posts. Okay, they don't have the ability to remove posts about you on social media platforms. So if you are being harassed or bullied, for instance, it's just better to contact law enforcement. Okay, so or you can reach out to the platform's privacy team, and they should take it from there for you. I want to talk to you now about DeleteMe. So DeleteMe is another, let's say, data removal service. Okay, it's a pretty straightforward data removal and privacy service that makes it easy to clean up and keep private personal information online. Okay, and so that's really good. Now the only thing is when you actually consider DeleteMe, you have to really be willing to fork a little more than what you would fork with Incogni. Why? Because I'll speak about pricing later on, but yeah, DeleteMe is not cheap. I mean, that's what it is. But the cool thing is that DeleteMe could be well worth the price, because if you think about what they're doing and how fast they're doing their job, they might be worth it. The ROI might be positive there. Okay, so when you think about DeleteMe, I want you to think about a site that can remove your personal data from hundreds of data broker sites, hundreds, like based on our calculation, 400 to 600. Whereas Incogni was actually limiting you at 180 sites. DeleteMe is going further. Maybe that's why they're charging more. And basically, DeleteMe provides continuous removals every 3 months. And it includes also additional online privacy tools like email, phone, and card masking. So that's really cool. On the flip side, when you think about it, DeleteMe, you have a service that is really expensive compared to other services in the industry. Okay. And also, they do have confusing hidden plan options. So maybe they just did it intentionally to maybe confuse, quote unquote, confuse clients. So basically, there is actually a money back guarantee with DeleteMe. So that's really good. The number of site removals at the very highest tier is more than 750. Okay. And DeleteMe actually covers multiple countries, but they focus more on Australia, Canada, United States, United Kingdom, and New Zealand. Okay, so that's really their core focus right now. But you are able to get things done a lot faster. So they can remove your data from the web, so to avoid scams, spam, and stalkers. Also, you are able to have a service that provides millions of successful opt-out removals. Okay, that's really good. And you also have a tool that provides continuous removals every 3 months. I found that continuous removal every 3 months really fantastic. So when you think about DeleteMe actually does a lot of work in terms of helping your data privacy, your personal data privacy. Okay, DeleteMe removes the following personal information from different data broker websites. I'm going to put this on the screen so you know exactly what I'm talking about. So DeleteMe actually will remove your name, your age, your gender, your email addresses, your phone numbers, your current and past home addresses, your marital status, your employer info, your race and ethnicity information, and also information about your family and relatives. So that's really cool because it really helps you in terms of privacy there. Now, in terms of data broker and people search sites covered, DeleteMe actually has up to 750 sites. So this is kind of cool because you are able to go as deep and broad. Okay. Now, basically, in terms of the number of sites they cover, it really depends on the pricing tier you have. So you have the standard tier where they remove information from over 89 sites, processed through quarterly privacy reports. You have the gold tier where they remove info from over 102 sites, processed through privacy reports every 2 months. Diamond, you have information removed from 107 sites, processed through monthly privacy reports. The Platinum, they remove information from over 140 sites, processed through monthly privacy reports. Then you have the VIP, where they remove your info from over 160 all the way to 750 sites, processed through monthly privacy reports, plus a Google search engine scrub. So that's really good, okay? And you also have some bonus features. You have a free scan, you have email masking, you have a phone masking, you have card masking, and you also have the search yourself sort of feature. So that's really fantastic in terms of flexibility. So in the privacy tools tab of your online accounts within DeleteMe, you will find a Google search bar that allows you to search and see where your information appears. So that's really good from a flexibility point of view. Really fantastic. So overall, you also have a DeleteMe customer support phone number So that's 1-833-335-3836. And they're available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. So let me talk to you about the third player to this conversation. So you have Mozilla Monitor Plus. So Mozilla Monitor Plus, as the name implies, is attached to the well-known browser Mozilla. Okay, so Mozilla Monitor Plus offers a big name and a free scan, that's for sure. But it really lags behind when it comes to the best dedicated service. When it comes to automated cleanup of personal data, it doesn't really do it. It doesn't really do a job as good as maybe DeleteMe or Incogni. Okay. But the cool thing is with Mozilla Monitor Plus, you have a free scan available. You have reports. You have a tool that reports data breach exposures. So that's really fantastic because this is actually a browser, really, if you think about it. And in addition to that, you have a multi-factor authentication. On the flip side, with Mozilla Monitor Plus, there is a no DIY broker removal instruction. You can't really modify personal data after registration. This is a biggie because if you want to really change things along the way, you are stuck. Okay, so be very careful about the info you put originally. So also with Mozilla Monitor Plus, custom removals are not available. Okay, so something to really think about. And so there's a free version available within Mozilla Monitor Plus. You have more than 200 removals automated. So they don't use like regular quote unquote humans. They use AI powered tools. Okay. So in terms of cost, you can actually subscribe to Mozilla Monitor Plus for $13.99 per month. If you subscribe on a yearly basis, the monthly price drops to $8.99 for a total of $107.88 per year. So that's really something to really think about. Now, Surfshark Incogni that I just reviewed a little earlier undercuts that price, charging just $77.88 for a year's subscription, but most similar services cost more. And so basically, when you think about the Mozilla Monitor Plus, it's very easy to get started with them. Pretty straightforward. Just visit the website, enter your email, and click for a free scan. You do have to create an account with a password to protect your data. You must supply an email confirmation code to prove that you own the email account that you are checking. Okay, so that's important. You also have the possibility real fast to upgrade to Mozilla Monitor Plus, and this is pretty straightforward too. So once you go through Mozilla Monitor Plus, you'll realize that they do a lot of work around keeping your data safe. They will remove data. They will remove your data from 100 to 400 distinct sites. Okay, but not as much as again DeleteMe or Apteri, for instance. Okay, or even Privacy Bee for that matter. So, but the cool thing is that with Mozilla Monitor Plus, you do have a browser, so you have a lot of possibility. In addition to that, you have a two-factor authentication. So that's really good. So relying on nothing but a password for authentication is risky. It's risky because anyone who steals or guesses your password can access the account. So multi-factor authentication ensures that simply knowing the password is not enough to compromise your security. So you can't separately add MFA to your Monitor Plus account, but you can apply it to your overall Mozilla account. Specifically, you can require the use of Google Authenticator or a compatible authenticator app in addition to your password. DeleteMe, IDS Complete, Canary, and Apteri support this type of MFA. By the way, I have reviewed all those players on this show. The cool thing is with DeleteMe, for instance, you can opt to receive a code at your primary email address instead. So this is kind of cool. So when you think about Mozilla Monitor Plus, think of the service as a decent data removal service. Okay, so Mozilla Monitor Plus is a great effort on Mozilla's part and seems to do what it promises, but it comes up short in some places. So where competitors offer detailed DIY removal steps to supplement their free scan, Mozilla leaves it up to you to figure out the process, and its limited set of personal data for checking cannot be edited after registration. So this is really a big bummer, especially if you want to have control over your data removal process. So what's the approach here? When you think about Incogni versus DeleteMe versus Mozilla Monitor Plus, basically, which one should you go for? First of all, before you actually choose one, you have to really understand that when you look at a personal data removal service, you have to really pay attention to the price, the removal methodology, the protection, the frequency, and the reports that come with the service provider. Okay, so when I speak about price, so while selecting the best services, you want to look at the range of options with different price points, including very affordable subscriptions and plans. In terms of removal, think about the services that can scan, monitor, and check online databases and data broker repositories for your personal information, and then work on your behalf to have it removed, right? So you also want to pay attention to the frequency. So you want to make sure that the service that you choose can conduct frequent scans on your behalf. You do not want to have a scan every one decade or every 1 century. No. Okay. So while you may just want one check and deletion, you want to make sure that you get as frequent removal requests as possible. Why? Because our information is constantly changing hands. And this means that your data could reappear online eventually. Okay. And you also want to make sure that you see things you can do yourself. In other words, the DIY part of things. You want to use the search engine and see what your info is coming back at, okay, or is coming back like. You want to lock down or delete social media accounts that you don't use anymore, because the whole thing is you have to really reduce the amount of input that's happening over your name there online. And also, whenever possible, see if you can contact webmasters to really ask them to remove your data. So this is part of the DIY part that I was telling you a little earlier. Okay. So what's the preference here? Incogni versus DeleteMe versus Mozilla Monitor Plus. Which one should you go for this year? So based on our analysis, DeleteMe actually is the best. Okay. Incogni does a great job, that's for sure, don't get me wrong. And Mozilla Monitor Plus does a great job too. But the winner from this compare and contrast here is actually DeleteMe. So what's the bottom line here? In today's conversation, I spoke to you about Incogni versus DeleteMe and Mozilla Monitor Plus. So I gave you the removal services, the approach, the preferences, and the bottom line. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.